I don't think I need to introduce the gentleman on my right, but I shall have a go. It's Mr. Nagesh Kukunoor, acclaimed film director. We're extremely fortunate to have him with us here today. Nagesh has directed several award-winning films, but his landmark film and his first one was Hyderabad Blues, 1998, which some of us remember very, very well. Iqbal, Rockford, Door, Bollywood Calling are some other award-winning films that come to mind. Dhanak is his latest venture. Dhanak is being released in India on the 17th of June, that is this coming Friday. And we are extremely excited to talk about the novelization of the book and its book launch at this venue this evening. Now, a novelization of a children's book has not happened in Indian cinema ever. The two earlier films that were novelized were Bobby and Mera Naam Joker, both K. Abbas's work. This is the first ever children's book to go through this transformation. The screenplay and the script were Nagesh's, based on the film, and the book was created by Anushka Ravishankar, critically acclaimed children's author of over 30 books, and I'm very, very privileged to call her my editor and my publisher as well. So Anushka can't be with us here today, but I have a lot of the other key players. So I have Krrish Chhabria, who plays one of the lead characters in the movie. Krrish is Chotu. I have Hetal Gada, who is Pari, Chotu's elder sister. And I have Rajiv Laxman. Rajiv, I don't quite know which role you play, but if you can just tell us a little bit about it.
I play the lead. The thing wasn't on. The punchline, please.
We missed your punchline.
Exactly.
It's a colorful Rajasthani boy called Gardu Banna. He is Chotu and Pari's friend. He bonds with Pari because both of them are SRK fans. However, I, having met Shah Rukh Khan, become like an idol or an elder brother kind of a figure for Pari. That is the role. Besides that, I do a bike ride and I do an item song. I don't think that's mentioned in the book though, the item song. It's during the end credits of the movie.
A quick good evening to all of you, and always happy to be in Kolkata. So I'm sure I'll be eating a lot of food on the way to the airport, since I don't even have time to sit down in a restaurant and eat, but I'm still going to be packed this time. Anyways, here to promote Dhanak, which is the story of 8-year-old Chotu who's busy with his hot chocolate right now, and 10-year-old Pari. Chotu in the film is blind, and Pari promises him, like little kids do, that before he turns 9, he will get his eyesight back. And as the date approaches, there's panic. Then she sees a poster with Shah Rukh saying, donate your eyes and change someone's life. And figures the only person who can give a brother's eyesight back is Shah Rukh. And so the two of them set off on a magical, colorful journey across Rajasthan. That's Dhanak in a nutshell. Honestly, I can take zero credit for that. Once we decided that Anushka would do the writing, initially I was asked if I would, and I don't have the arrogance to believe that being a scriptwriter translates into a novel writer, so I stayed clearly away from it. Anushka had she saw the film, she had my script as a loose blueprint, but then eventually it had to be written, and I think she had that deadlines, which is the only way writers seem to work, because otherwise all kinds of excuses crop up. I'm just being unfair to Anushka because she's not here to defend herself, and I've given her the same cap. But yeah, other than 2 or 3 in-depth conversations where she needed to know what my thinking was behind it, the rest of it she ran with it. It's entirely her, to her credit.
Brilliant. And the other question I always wanted to ask you, why this novelization?
When Dougville approached us, I was just curious. And like you mentioned at the beginning, it hadn't been done before, so I figured I'd have bragging rights to be able to say that we were there first. But honestly, I was just more curious about the process. Because one of the things that you don't have in films, unless you have really bad voiceovers, is to try and figure out what the characters are thinking. And to see it novelized and actually read Pari's and Chotu's thoughts were a nice, interesting touch to something that I'd written a while back. So I had fun actually reading it as much as I just had fun in saying yes.
Did you find at any point when you were reading the book that it moved you unexpectedly? Because you know, you've made the film, you've conceived it, you've done it, it's over and done with, and suddenly there's this little novel in front of you. Did anything suddenly hit you that hadn't hit you before?
There are 2 things that hit me. One is she sets up a routine for Chotu at the beginning of the book and at the beginning of a few chapters. I thought there was a wonderful sort of touch, which someone who is visually challenged probably does that for a living every day because that's the way their world behaves. I like that a lot, and I